This is Don Ojon Speaks. I am Kechikech. Today we're looking at why people are not successful, taking it from the family perspective. So Don, please tell us what family is.
Family is a basic social unit that consists of parents and children, often regarded as a group. But when it comes to the concept of poverty, the concept of success, the concept of breakthrough, then family extends to other people around you, your friends, your co-workers, those that you're familiar with and those that are familiar to you. So unfortunately, we have not realized that these are the same sort of people that may continue to pour water on our fire of passion. We have not discovered that to a certain extent, some people are not successful because of the family. People that are familiar with you, people that know you very well, people that know your weakness, people that understand your strength. For example, I tell people that I was working at a place at a point, and somebody walked in and he was complaining to himself that he knew he was not going to be successful on the job. And I was wondering, why then are you here? Then he said, it's because of the family. Because in his head, he's thinking that if he leaves the job, what will the family feed on? One of the reasons why people will not go past this level is because their family care for them so much and they do not want them to travel the lonely route of success. So they keep holding them back at every point in time. But every care of family has consequences, either you like it or not, because they care for you so much, they don't want you to get hurt. And in the journey of success, you need to get hurt before you get help. But because people care so much about you and they prevent you, one of the reasons why there will be a vacancy in the office and they go out there to source other people and they refuse to promote people within the system is because of family. It's because they are family. It's because they are familiar with you and they're sincerely afraid that, oh, if this person takes up this responsibility, it's going to mess up. Yes, and that is not true. And they go out there to source for somebody who is not as good as you are. Why? It's because they are family. Now, this concept of family is why people, if I tell my wife today or my girlfriend that I'm going to live where I'm working because I want to pursue my purpose, the answer will say no. Why? It's because they're family. They are genuinely concerned about my well-being. They don't want me to get into trouble. But if I do not get into trouble, I cannot triumph. So the family must understand. And this is exactly what Jesus Christ saw. And he was saying that, oh, the enemies of man are actually people of his household. And in this part of Africa, when we got that, we went spiritual. Jesus was not spiritual. It was only strategic. Because this thing happened to him when he was 12 years old. At the point in time when he said that statement, he was above 30. He saw how his own family members were almost preventing him from achieving success. At the point he was in the temple trying to teach the people. And the family members came and said, what are you doing? They wanted to prevent him. Why? Because they don't want him to get into trouble. That was what Jesus was talking about. But all of us, when we're spiritual with it, people are not going to succeed because their family genuinely care for them. And until every one of us understands the consequences of the care of the family, we will never move past the level where we are in. Because there are some certain things. I left school and I told my parents I wanted to go into politics because I felt I found a place in leadership. I wanted to show the people how these things should be done. But they were genuinely concerned for me. They were afraid for me. And they said, no, at that point in time, I could not go into politics. Why? It's because they're family. It's because they have understood over time that these are my areas of strength and these are my weaknesses. And they're genuinely concerned.
And they're worried about you.
And they are worried about me failing. And the crowdiness of the world will not allow people to be successful except you're willing to take the lonely route. The extra mile is without people. But your family members, because they are genuinely concerned about your safety, will not allow you to travel the lonely route. People are not succeeding because of the family factor. People talk to me about the door of success. And I tell them that there's nothing like the door of success. What we have is a small window of success. Now this small window, for you to get to the other side of success, you have to travel alone. But your family members are not going to allow you to travel alone. They want to accompany you. Yes. And in fact, the window of success is so small that even if an individual wants to travel through, he has to let go of everything. You can only travel through the window when you are naked. You need to drop the baggage of resentment. You need to drop the baggage of anger. You need to drop the baggage of emotional failure. You need to shed, unfortunately, because your family members are afraid that you're going to travel the route alone. They want your brothers to accompany you, and you get hooked in the window, and nobody can cross to the other side of success because your family members are not going to watch you pass through the window before they begin to cumber you with responsibilities. They feel that as you are going, that you must carry as many people as possible. And that is why in Africa, people are not succeeding because they are family. Now, when you are traveling this window, your parents genuinely think that you should take one or two of your siblings along, and you cannot travel with them. Responsibility. So anytime you leave school without telling your uncle and you go to spend holiday with him, you are part of the people that are preventing your uncle from succeeding. Yes. Anytime you do not book appointment and you come to Lagos or you go to Abuja, you are part of the family member that are going to stop them. Unfortunately, the concept of success is different. The way we see it in this part of the world is different from the way the concept of success really is. Success in this part of the world is about a man who owns a car. Once you drive a car along the street, everybody thinks you're successful. Now you can be the man, the run-to man, that everybody is coming. But why? It's because they're family. Now, a lot of people in Africa get hooked just crossing the window of success. Why? Because a lot of people are coming. There's a well in my village, and I am going to liken success to that well. Okay. That well, that was the community well, where people come to fetch water. And they so built it in a way that it's only a small bucket that can go in there at once. Oh. It shows that two people cannot use the well at once. One at a time. One at a time. That's how success is. Until somebody goes through the window and makes success in the real sense of it. And when we're talking about success, we're not talking about money that people can gather, but we're talking about stability. We're talking about stability in education. We're talking about stability in business, stability in entrepreneurship. When you achieve this stability, then you now have the capacity to continue to invite other people to come meet you on the other side of success. But in Africa, they will not allow you to get to the other side of success. Why? It's because they're family. People are judging you today, not based on the fact that you have done wrong. They are judging you today because they are family. They are familiar with your strength. And every one of us, at every point in time, we forget that there's no one perfect person on the planet Earth. And we are judging ourselves based on our weaknesses. Why? A stranger is not familiar with your weakness. It's because they are family. So a lot of people have given up because the family members have talked them down. A lot of people have given up because the family members told them that they cannot achieve it. They're genuinely concerned. A number of people have given up because their family members have judged them. A number of wives have given up. Why? Because the husband thinks they cannot achieve success. But everyone can achieve success in the real sense of it. They are stopping, they cannot achieve success because the family thinks they cannot achieve success. And why is the family behaving like that? It's because they are familiar. So, we must get to a point where we must continue to shed the familiarity that we talk about. Yeah. There are some people. There was a friend of mine that I talked about the next business. I told him I'm building a bank. I am starting. And it was at the junction of my estate. And I told him the next project I'm doing is that I'm building my own bank. And he said, you cannot manage your own money. How do you want to build a bank? And since that time, we cut relationship. So you must continue to know the set of people that will continue to pour water on the fire of passion that burns inside of you. Because they are going to talk you out of that idea. That idea is fantastic. But they are going to talk you out of it.
much negativity.
Negativity. Why? Because they are familiar with your weakness. So you must continue to shed this kind of people. It is not their problem. It's not as if they are doing something wrong. But that is the position. Because they genuinely care for you. They don't want you to get hurt. So that's the problem of the family. So in other words, the family has succeeded in stopping many people because of the communal spirit. What is the communal spirit in Africa? The communal spirit in Africa is the spirit of care. Everybody is genuinely concerned about the next person. But now, this communal spirit has extended from ordinary care to being a clog. It has extended from genuine care to genuine clog. These people, because they care for you, and they are clogging the wheel of success. So in Africa, people are not successful because of their family.
Okay, thank you. Looking at that, what are the mistakes people make, and what other ways can they go around it to make sure they leave that particular position of being unsuccessful into stepping into success?
Every individual that comes your way, and I'm very serious about this, every individual that comes your way, you must understand that there are people that are going to stay with you and stick with you forever.
True.
There are people that are temporary. So you must know how to place people that are temporary, because those people that are temporary are supposed to serve a value. And once they serve this value and there's no other value to serve, then they continue to bring you down. And this is the mistake we make. We think that there are some set of people that by fire, by force, we have to stick with them forever. Yeah. You don't need to stick with some people forever. You must learn to let go. And secondly, even where you work, you can continue to work in a place forever, because the system is going to get used to you. Yes. And because they are familiar with your weaknesses, they are familiar with your strength, they are not going to allow you to grow. As an assistant manager, the manager just resigned, and you're believing that, oh, they are going to promote you, they are going to give you the next job. But you know what? The organization is not going to give you, because the people genuinely care that you may not be able to handle the position. But that is a lie. You can handle the position. It's because over time, maybe you have spent a period of 7 years, you've been able to advertise your weakness well enough that everybody is aware. So you must know when to leave. You have spent 3 years, then there's a need for you to leave, because the familiarity is going to set in. And once the people are familiar with your strength, the people that are supposed to help you, then we begin to talk you down.
So one needs to be strong-willed.
You need to be strong-willed and know the time to move. And once you identify this time, you've got to move.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So that will be all on today's episode. See you next time.